Namaste yogis, welcome to Yoga and You. My name is Pallavi Rajankar. I am a yoga teacher as well as a counseling psychologist. My work is basically using yoga to understand not just our physical health but also our emotional and mental health. Today in our Yoga and You series, we're doing a 4-part Yin Yoga series. Now Yin Yoga is kind of like a branch of yoga. It's one that is extremely special to me because I feel like, especially in today's world where everything is so fast paced and everything is all over the place and we're being pulled in 100 different directions, Yin Yoga essentially allows us to slow it down. And so this practice is very different in that a lot of Yang practices, you're jumping around in Vinyasa and Ashtanga, you're moving from one side of the mat to another, it can be quite fast. And Yin Yoga is basically being very slow, holding just a few poses for a longer period of time. It works on the physical body, what we call the fascia, which is it's almost like the surrounding covering around the muscles. We're stretching that out. But also, as you might know in the yoga philosophy, there are different chakras in the body that hold different kind of emotions. So as we work into some of the physical parts of our body and stretch out that part, we're also working towards releasing certain emotions, right? So in this first video, you're not going to use any props. So we'll basically start in going into our posture and our breath, right? So gently bring one heel into your hips. Bring the other ankle in front. Allow the knees to go as wide as possible. Gently place your hands, your palms on the knees, and if you feel like, even the palms facing the ceiling. Once you've done this, allow the eyes to close. For the next few minutes, as we do some calming, centering breaths, try to keep your eyes closed and just trust in your ability to hear the instructions rather than watching me and copying. Okay? So just take a few seconds of silence here. Bring yourself back to this present moment. Allow the knees to go wide, relax the hips. Bring your awareness to the spine and notice whether you might be leaning forward or you might be leaning backward. A lot of us have a tendency to do either one. Come to the center and lengthen through the spine. Imagine like the crown of your head wants to touch the ceiling, lengthen as much as possible. And your shoulders automatically might move towards your earlobes. I want you to roll it back and rest it down. The neck is elongated, the chin stays parallel to the earth. Without trying to change or alter the breath, just notice what the breath is like in this present moment. Is it short, is it shallow, or is it more deep and nourishing? I'm doing this practice for myself in the morning, and most of you might do it too in the morning. You might find that after you've woken up from 6 to 8 hours of sleep, the breath is quite short and almost quite soft even. We're going to go into the body and use our breath as a tool to elongate the breath and also to calm the body down. So with that intention, gently place one palm on the belly and one palm on the chest. Allow the fingertips to spread as wide as possible as you slowly and gently push into your own body. Allow the touch of your hands on your own body to be loving, to be of kindness. Be gentle with your own body. With the palm on the chest, notice whether you can feel your heartbeat. Is it slow? Is it fast? And what is that saying about your own mental state today? With the hand on the belly, notice what the breath is like. Is the breath constricted or is it full? Together, you and me, we're going to take a few long, deep inhales and exhales together. So ready? Inhaling for 3, 2, 1, and exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Longer still. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take it even longer, inhaling for 5. Allow the belly to come into your palm for 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 5, 4. Slow and controlled. 3, 2, 1. Longer still, inhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3. Allow your chest to also expand for 2, 1. And exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just 2 more breaths. Inhaling for 7, 6. Allow the belly to fill, the chest expands, the ribs expand all the way to your collarbones for 3, 2, 1. And exhaling for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last breath, make it big. Inhaling for 8, 7, 6. Pushing the belly out into your palm for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Pull the belly button into the spine for 2 and for 1. Good. Just release your palms to your knees with your palms facing the sky, dropping the shoulders down, and just notice what the breath is like now. The breath might be a little more longer, and it might be easier for the mind to stay quiet and the eyes to stay closed. Just take a second of silence. We want to maintain this breath throughout our practice. It's just a calming, centering, grounding breath. We'll close our breath by gently bringing our palms together and slowly and gently rubbing one palm against the other. And then picking up the pace. Build the heat within your palms. Rub, rub, rub just a little bit faster. And then once you feel ready, gently place your palms on the eyes. Allow your palms to go down your cheeks, your jaw, your neck. Give your shoulders and your arms a nice little massage. Even your thighs and your legs, whichever part of you feels a little bit tired or sore. And then gently open your eyes. We're going to go into our first stretch, which is basically going to focus on the head and the neck, right? So first, once you open your eyes, gently place your left palm on the floor. With your right hand, hold the left ear and gently tilt your head towards your right shoulder. And stay here. Remember that a lot of us have a tendency to lift the shoulder up to the ears. I want you to drop it down and stay. Be gentle with your neck. A lot of us have sensitive necks and we have a tendency to pull too much. Be very aware of your body today, okay? Go only as much as what is permissible for you. And hold it here for 5, for 4. You'll feel the stretch move all the way from your base of the ears to the shoulders. For 3. If this is getting quite comfortable for you, you can even move the left hand to the left shoulder and stretch it out. Give yourself even more of a stretch and it will get a little more intense. Staying here for 3. If you're someone who stores a lot of tension in the neck, holding this left arm here is going to help you a lot more, okay? For 2. 1 little inch, go closer. You'll feel it all the way up till your shoulders even. Last little breath here. And for 1. If your left hand is up, gently release it. Slowly bring your head back to the center. And we're doing the same thing on the opposite side. So right palm stays firmly planted on the floor. With your left hand, hold on to your right ear and gently pull your head closer to the left shoulder. Remember, the same instructions apply here as on the opposite side. There's no need to lift up this left shoulder. Keep it relaxed down. This hand stays down. If possible, look up to the ceiling and then pull a little closer. We're holding this here for 5. Our bodies have such a tendency to store tension. Even though I did these stretches this morning, when I'm repeating it now, there's still some more to be stretched. Hold it here for 4. Looking up to the ceiling, adjust your head if you need to. For 3. Remember, Yin Yoga is all about holding simple poses for a longer period of time. For 2. If your body is allowing for it, bring your right hand to the right shoulder and stretch the shoulder and the head in 2 opposite directions. Remembering to breathe through it, okay? These stretches can get quite intense. Keep breathing. For 2. Last little breath here. And for 1. Slowly and gently bring your head back to center. Release both of your hands. I'm going to turn to this side of the mat so that you can see this next pose better. Allow your hands to interlace. Fingers are interlaced. Thumbs come up. Okay? With your thumbs, place both the thumbs right below your chin. Right? I'm going to look at it in this direction so it's easier for you to follow. Thumbs underneath the chin. And very gently, slowly push the head back. Remember, with the spine, we're not hunching into the spine. Spine is straight. Look up to the ceiling. Your entire front portion of the neck will stretch. It's the space of the thyroid as well. These poses help in hormone regulation. And notice what stiffness, what pain might be coming up in this portion of the stretches. As we go through the practice today, you'll notice that different parts of us start acting up in different poses. The emotion that we hold in the neck is that of inflexibility, not trusting the process of life, of stubbornness. So if these poses on the neck are quite difficult, you can use this physical practice of yoga almost as a mirror for your mental and emotional health. Stretch it even more for another 3. For 2. Remembering to breathe. Last little breath here. Look up to the ceiling and if possible, even look to the back of the room. For 2. And for 1. Slowly releasing your hands. Allow your neck to come back to center. Remember, when we move in and out of the pose, don't whip in and out of the poses, okay? Especially if you're someone who has, say, low BP, the blood rush can be quite uncomfortable, okay? So take it slow while you're moving through the poses. For this next pose, we're going to interlace our fingers like this. Palms go apart, spine is straight, neck is long. Interlacing the fingers, it goes behind the head, okay? From here, bring your elbows closer together and just bend at the neck. Remember, once more, we're not bending into the back. Back remains absolutely straight. Elbows together and stretch. When you do this pose, you'll also notice that a lot of us store tightness not just in our neck but also in our shoulders. As you're doing the stretch, you'll notice the tightness in the muscles that go all the way from the base of the neck to the outside of your shoulders. Hold it here. Imagine like your chin is trying to touch your chest. For another 6. 4, 5. Continuing to breathe through it. Staying here for another 4. And if there's certain pain or discomfort that's coming up in the neck, notice where in your life, in which experiences, in which relationships, you notice stubbornness, you experience inflexibility, not allowing yourself to flow through life. Just notice for yourself without any judgment. What happens on the mat is very reflective of what happens on the mat, and which is why I love this yin practice. It's very simple, but if you allow it to be, it can be quite deep as well. Staying here for another 3. Don't come out of the pose, just few more seconds. 4, 2. Taking deep breaths. Last little breath here. Feeling that stretch across the back of the neck. It'll even extend up to your scalp, right? Just notice. Last little breath here. And 4, 1. Now from here, don't come out of the pose. Stay where you are. Elbows are still closer together. And gently, vertebrae by vertebrae, just curl the back. Allowing your forehead to come closer to your pelvic region. And stay. You can shift your weight forward so that the very bottom of the spine also feels that stretch. This is a beautiful stretch for the back. And it's very telling of the states our bodies are in. Holding it here for another 6, almost like you're crawling, you're kind of curling into this small little ball. 4, 5, stay. When we're in these poses for a longer period of time, the body will automatically want to snap out of it. I want you to stay in the pose, resist the urge to leave it. My teacher always says that yoga begins when you want to leave the pose. So talk to your mind and stay here for another 4. Go even closer to the floor if that's accessible to you. 4, 3. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. 4, 2. And 4, 1. From here, taking your own time, don't whip out of the pose, just let go of your hands, allow your palms to come down to the earth. And vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly allow your spine to come back up, almost like one vertebrae is stacking against the other. As slowly as you come back into seated, your neck might feel a little bit sore and a little bit sensitive, and that's okay. In today's video, we're going to need some props. So if you have yoga block, if you have something like this, you can use it. If you don't have a yoga block, that's also totally alright. You can use a box that's available in your home. You can use a stack of books. Whatever is accessible to you, you can bring it. We're also going to need a yoga strap. This is just a strap that I got with my yoga mat. But if you don't have a yoga strap, you can also use a towel, you can use a belt. Be creative, right? You don't have to be buying these things. So take a minute, just grab whatever you want and then come meet me here. Today we're going to start with the shoulders, and I'm going to turn around so that you can see what I'm doing better, right? So for the first pose, we're going to allow our hands, our right hand to kind of go up to the ceiling, bend at the elbow. Right, almost so that your right fingertips are reaching to the back of the shoulder. With the left hand is going to go to the back of the room. Bend at your left shoulder. See if you can interlace your fingers here and just hold. Okay, if this is something that is not accessible to you, you can very much use a strap. Right, so with your right hand, hold one end of the strap. With your left hand, hold the other end of the strap. Even if you're just here, that's fine. As we go through the pose, try moving your hands closer and closer together as you come closer together, right? So hold your pose like this. Remember, we're not arching into the back, we're staying straight, open through the chest, look up to the ceiling. Right elbow kind of moves towards the back. We're just staying here for another 4. Breathe through it for 3. Back is straight, neck is elongated, gaze at the front of the room. For 2. And for 1. Slowly, carefully release your hands or release the strap, and we're doing the same thing on the opposite side. Now when we move into our yin poses, one side might feel quite different from the other, and that's okay, right? So this time the left hand goes up to the ceiling, bend at your left elbow, right hand comes behind you, bend at the right elbow and try to interlace your arms. Remember, if interlacing the hands is not possible, please use your strap, towel, use a belt, whatever is fine, and stay here. As you get more and more comfortable with the counts, see if you can inch your fingertips closer together so that you can eventually hold maybe even just a tip of your finger, right? So staying here for another 4. For 3. Roll your left shoulder back. You'll feel the stretch in this left part of the arm. For 2, open the chest out. Don't hunch through the back, open it out. For 2. Remembering to breathe. Last little breath here. And for 1, slowly let go of your hand. If you have tight arm muscles like me, it'll already feel quite sensitive. Yeah? From here, gently cross your legs, coming onto your knees, coming into your tabletop position. Okay? So just making sure your knees and your hips are in one straight line, your shoulders, elbows and wrists are in one straight line. Allow the fingertips to spread wide, and from here, take this right palm, thread it in and through the left hand and the floor. Bring your right shoulder down to the earth, and right ear also comes down to the earth. Imagine like the earth is almost whispering something to you. You'll feel this deep stretch in the neck and in the hand. Level 1, stay here. If you're not feeling too much of a stretch, if you want to go one level higher, gently walk your left palm outside so that your left elbow straightens up. And stay. Stretch quite intensely in this pose. So this is level 2. Level 3 is you can take this left palm and take it around your hip and wedge it just in between your right hip and your thigh, and stay. Take 1, 2 or 3, whichever level is comfortable for you. Staying here for another 4. Look up to the ceiling for 3. Remembering to breathe for 2. Last little breath here. Go closer to the earth. Roll your left shoulder up to the ceiling. And forward. Bringing your left hand back to the earth. Use that left hand to push yourself back. Coming back into all fours. We're doing the exact same thing on the opposite side. Right? So take this left hand. Thread it in and through the right hand on the floor, bringing your left shoulder down to the earth. Level 1, right hand stays where it is. Level 2, right hand goes to the front of the mat, and you can even walk it down to the opposite side of the mat. Once you're here, roll the right hand up to the ceiling so that almost like your shoulder is trying to touch the ceiling. Armpit opens up. Or level 3, you can even move the right hand, tuck it in between your left thigh and the hip. Staying here for another 4, 3, for 2. Push the right shoulder up. Last little breath here. And forward. Slowly bring your right hand back to center. Push yourself up, coming back into your all fours. From here you can just move 1 inch to the back of the mat so that you have more space next to you, in front of you. Make sure you have your blocks next to you or your books. From here, gently walk your palms to the very front of the mat, bringing your chest and your chin down to the earth. If this is hard, you can move the block, keep it underneath your chest, 1 or 2 blocks, and then rest it down so that it's easier. Do one or the other, and staying in this puppy pose for another 3. If possible, elbows off the floor. For 2. You'll feel this deep stretch in the back of the shoulders. Last little breath here. And for 1. Drop the elbows down. Slowly thread your chest in and through your shoulders. And look up to the ceiling. Feet are relaxed. You'll be in your Sphinx pose. As you look up to the ceiling, your lower back will also release. Staying here for 3. For 2. And for 1. From here, take your block, put it right in front of you. Relax your head down to the block and allow both hands to come onto either side of the mat. Yeah? Make sure you have your strap next to you as well. Now from here, left hand will stay exactly where it is. Okay? Flip it over so that the left palm is facing the ceiling. Use your right hand almost like a stand as you shift your weight to the left side of the body. Your right foot will come behind your left knee, almost like a cycle stand that you're using. Right? Draw a big semicircle with your right hand. Try to interlace your shoulders behind you. If that's not possible, use a strap and hold either end of the strap with your hands. Holding it here for 4. You'll feel this deep stretch in between your shoulders and keep walking your hands below, closer to each other down the strap. Eventually you want to get to a place where you can interlace your fingers, but if you're not there yet, please use a strap. If your fingers are interlacing, get your wrist to touch. For 3. For 2. And for 1. Slowly release the strap, release the interlace. With kindness, come back into center. Extend your right hand out just like how it was before. You're basically using this block as a pillow. So rest your head here. Use your left hand to come down to the floor. Shift your weight to the right side of the body. Okay? Left hand will draw a big semicircle, interlacing your hands. If interlacing your fingers is not possible, use a strap. So using a strap will look something like this. With time, as you get even more comfortable, walk your hands down the strap. See if your shoulders can come closer together. Squeeze your shoulders together. You'll feel a tightness in between the shoulders. That's where you're supposed to be. Hold it for another 3. Keep breathing. For 2. Last little breath here. And for 1. Release the strap, release the interlace. Slowly come back into center. And from here, move the block out, coming back into Sphinx. Now we're going to make an equal to shape with our hands. Right hand in front of the left and walk both palms into opposite directions. Almost like we're forming an X with our hands. Once you go as wide as possible, gently release the head and the neck into the palms. Get super heavy in your shoulders, super heavy in your chest. Put a lot of weight on your upper arms. You feel the stretch across the length of the arms. Let us stay here for another 3. For 2. Last little breath here. And for 1. Slowly walking your hands back to the center. And now we're going to switch arms. We're Okay, so right hand comes below, left hand comes on top. Walk the palms as much as possible, almost like you're trying to wiggle it out. The front of your arms will come into this X shape. And once you're here, slowly and gently release your leg, release your hands over the arms, and stay. For another 3, 4, 2, and 4. Slowly releasing your hands, allowing your chest to come back down to the earth. Palms go onto either side of your chest. Inhale, lift the chest off the floor, coming into your upward facing dog. Exhaling, curling the toes, lifting the knees off the floor, downward facing dog. And then slowly bring your knees back to center and rest your hips down.